All right. If I could have your attention, please. We will call the City Council Committee of the Whole of August 26, 2024 to order. If the clerk will help me with a roll call, please.
Albertini,
Here.
Brereton,
Here.
Flurry,
Here.
Frank is absent, Freeman. Here. Gramkowski,
Here.
McGee,
Here.
Mulhall's absent, Stevens,
Here.
7 present.
Okay, thank you. And under public comment, we have one, I believe, registered, Linda Castro Sabina. Linda, good evening. Welcome. How are you tonight?
Good, thank
Nice
you,
to see
Mayor. Hello, everybody. Like Mayor said, my name is Linda Castro Sabina. I'm here with the Sister Cities, and I think you've all kind of heard that the Tri-City Rendezvous is coming up very soon. It's upon us. We've been raising money all year long, and our guests from Germany and France are going to be here finally. We have 6 German people that come in. Of those German, we have the fire chief of Schwieberdingen coming, and one of our own, fireman Mark Beck, is going to be hosting him. We also have a city councilwoman and her husband coming also. So that's within the German delegation. And within the French delegation, which are 11, there is going to be the deputy mayor coming also from Vanopinio. We have a lot of events going on. And then the first event will be the welcoming of them, official welcoming, and the mayor will be giving a proclamation here in City Hall on Friday the 20th. After that, we're going to have the mural dedication. I don't know if you've seen it, but on the Style House Furniture Building, there's a new mural, and it's of depicting the 3 flags of the sister cities. So if you guys drive by there, take a look at it. We're going to dedicate it on the 20th. And also, besides that, the French sister cities have gifted us a bench, which is going to be located in the park next to in the museum park. After that, the Germans decided to gift us a tree, so now there's going to be a shade tree that goes with the bench. We're going to do a presentation at that time also. During the dedication, we're going to have our high school bands play the anthems of all 3 countries. So it's going to be a really, hopefully, nice, beautiful thing and something we can be proud of for Belvedere. And I hope that you guys can join us. We really would. And I do understand it's Friday morning work, but I do understand. But if you can really try, we would really appreciate your support. There's one other thing I wanted to also invite you to. There's a couple events happening that weekend that they're here, and this is just an RSVP for all of you. We have invited you all to join us. After the mural dedication on Friday, we're going to have a box lunch and museum tour. So you're more than welcome to join us if you want. It's being catered by Coach's Corner, and it's $15 if you would like. And then on Sunday, we're going to have our farewell dinner at the Grain Jet. I don't know if you all have been to the Grain Jet on Squaw Prairie Road. It's that big, beautiful barn that's been put together. It's gorgeous. Anyway, we're going to have a farewell barbecue, Western barbecue theme dinner. We're going to have the Rusty Drum cater for us. Dale Rody and his Crossroad Band's going to play for us. We're going to have line dance. We're going to teach our French and German delegates how to line dance, country line dance. So you guys are invited to come to this, too. We would really love to see you there. They're going to be on stage. Crossroad Band's going to be on stage. And it's a beautiful place, so you're more than welcome. We invite you to come. It's the cost is $30, and if you'd like, just RSVP by, let's see. It says here the 28th, but I'm just telling you right now on the 26th, so I'm going to give you another week, okay? So that being said, I do have one more thing, and then I'm going to leave you to your business. We had a raffle recently, and we drew. Actually, Mayor was our person that drew all the names, and everybody's been notified, but we did have a special drawing. Anybody that sold or purchased $100 worth of tickets were put into a special drawing. Dan, I asked Dan, because he was sitting there, he was very convenient, if he could bring this up for me. This was donated by Naomi Schultz. Thank you, Naomi. For anybody that purchased or sold, you can just set that right there. Sold $100 worth of tickets. And the winner is John Albertini. So,
Thank you very much. I just wanted to donate, but thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you, and I appreciate it. And all your donations and all that is helping us get these people here and hosting them, have our mural put up. We really do appreciate your support and everything. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Linda. You're welcome. And Naomi, thank you for coming here this evening. You know, Sister Cities, I think, has done a remarkable job with some of their fundraising, and I have been to some of it, and I know you've had events, quite a few events, and you know, it shows your commitment as well, so I certainly appreciate it. Thank you, and thank you bet. Thank you for coming here this evening again. Okay, also, I guess that's all we have registered for public comment. We have no public forum. We have, flipping the page, we have reports of officers, boards, and special committees. Item 1, public safety, unfinished business, we have none. Item 2, public safety, new business, item A. Police Department update, Chief Woody, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor. Thank you very much. Since my last update last month, our newest recruit, Tyler Stansford, graduated from Sauk Valley Basic Academy last Thursday. His first day on FTO was this previous Saturday. Probationary officers Bendel and Venegas are still in step 5 of the FTO program on solo patrol. They're scheduled to complete probation in October. Probationary officer Gibson, still step 5 of the FTO program on solo patrol, scheduled to complete probation in November. Probationary officer Lara Parra, step 5 FTO program on solo patrol, scheduled to complete probation February of 25. Recruit Hauser and Officer Golden turned in their resignations. Hauser's last day was August 18th, and Golden's last day will be September 2nd. For those of you that don't know, Officer Golden is our current SRO at the high school, and we have begun the transition period with Officer Gerardo Venegas, who will be signed as the new SRO, and has started this week with Officer Golden. We're currently down 4 officers, and we anticipate Officer Blankenship to be retiring September 13th. Will put us at 5 that we need to replace. For Officer Blankenship, we'll be having a retirement ceremony on Friday, September 13th at noon at the PSB. We have currently an officer on military deployment until February 25, and 2 others on long-term leave. We continue to take applications and interview candidates. We'll be interviewing 3 more applicants this Wednesday, and we're currently on waiting lists at both Sauk Valley and PTI for January of 2025. Earlier in the month, and I think the mayor had mentioned, the police department held National Night Out in Big Thunder Park. I'd just like to extend our appreciation from the police department to all of the aldermen as well as the mayor who were able to attend. It was a great showing despite it being the first night of the fair. I want to recognize Deputy Chief Smaha, Officer Blankenship, and Schwartz for an outstanding job coordinating the event. That would conclude my update, and I will entertain any questions that you may have.
Okay, any questions for Chief Woody? Alderwoman Freeman?
Thank you. So, soon with Officer Blankenship's retirement, we'll be down 5 officers. Does that include the ones that are on long-term leave?
No, ma'am, it does not. So those are just the vacancies that we have to fill. The others are officers that are currently employed, just not able to work for one reason or another.
So we'll potentially be down more like 8, and that all has to be covered with overtime, right?
That is correct.
Okay, any other questions for Chief Woody? All right, hearing none. Chief, I did want to comment real quick on Officer Golden. I had been up to the high school and had seen Officer Golden at some of the events and how he was respected by a lot of the Belvedere High School, obviously the faculty, but also the administration and the students. I thought he did an excellent job, and I hope, I have no doubt that Officer Venegas will be following his footsteps. But please wish on my behalf and behalf of the City Council, Officer Golden, wish him well. Thank you.
I will. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. If there are no more questions for Chief Woody, we have item B, Police Department Organized Retail Crime Program Grant. In your packet was a memo dated 8/26, August 26, 2024, to myself and the City Council from Chief Woody. We have had some discussions on this, and Chief, take it away.
Thank you again, Mayor. So if you would turn to the memo in your packet. On June 17th of this year, the council approved the Belvedere Police Department to apply for the Organized Retail Crime Program Grant offered by the Illinois Attorney General's Office. On August 16th, 2024, the Belvedere Police Department was notified by the Office of the Attorney General, State of Illinois, of an award for the ORC grant in the amount of $12,000. If approved, the department intends to purchase 4 automatic license plate reader cameras through Flock, which will allow officers to obtain investigative information to help solve crimes committed in our community. Attached, you'll find an invoice from Flock for $12,000 for cameras and setup. A yearly ongoing cost of $12,000 will be sought through grants, asset forfeiture, or the department budget process. I would request a motion to accept grant funds from the Illinois Attorney General's Office, Organized Retail Crime Program in the amount of $12,000 to be used for the purchase and installation of 4 Flock safety automatic license plate readers, and to authorize the mayor and finance director to execute any documentation necessary to facilitate the receipt of grant funds.
Okay, with that
I'd like to
being,
make that motion, Your Honor.
motion by Alderman Stevens, is there a second? Second by Alderman Albertini. Thank you both. Any questions, any comments? Alderman Fleury?
Thank you, Mayor. With your best estimation, when do you think this system will be operational?
I would have to get with Flock. We've yet to schedule anything. I wanted to make sure that we were going to be able to obtain the system before coordinating scheduling.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions regarding the motion? Alderwoman Gramkowski?
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a comment, and I want to thank Chief Woody for having a pretty extensive conversation with me last week about this. Previously, I had concerns about the data security and data breaches after having experienced one myself. I know it's hard to recoup from that, but also after speaking with friends in law enforcement, this tool is going to be great for law enforcement. And so I'm excited about it after doing more research, and I think that the benefit far outweighs the risk. So thank you for everything.
Well, thank you, Alderwoman Gramkowski, and I'm glad that you had an opportunity to talk with the chief regarding this, because I think it is important. I think a lot of times things get misconstrued, and but I'm glad you did that, so thank you very much for doing your due diligence. I appreciate it. Any other questions, any other comments? All right, we have a motion on the floor to accept grants funds from the Illinois Attorney General's Office Organized Retail Crime Program in the amount of $12,000 to be used for the purchase and installation of 4 Flock safety automatic license plate readers, and to authorize the mayor and finance director to execute any documentation necessary to facilitate the receipt of grant funds. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion passed. Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it. We have item C, Fire Department update. Chief Shadle, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor. Thank you. Over the past 30 days, the men and women of the Belvedere Fire Department have responded to 247 incidents, averaging 8.2 per shift. Of those, we had 1 building fire on State Street, 1 vehicle fire, and 1 dumpster fire, 168 EMS calls, and of the EMS calls, they had 130 transports to the area hospitals. There were 12 car accidents, 7 causing injuries, 4 incidents where carbon monoxide was found in homes. We had a gasoline spill, a natural gas leak, a power line down, and 17 other public service assistance calls. One of the calls we assisted, a couple of our divers went out to Rock Cut to help search for the 30-year-old camper that was later found. And so Chief Hart of Loves Park had personally thanked me for sending them out there. They went out there twice and helped quite a bit. So the ambulance revenue has turned around for us. So since May of '24, our revenue is $622,784.81. Now a good portion of that is back payment from Medicaid and Illinois Blue Cross Blue Shield from the prior year. So it won't keep going up like that. So recruiting and hiring, we are still down 1 firefighter. We just last Thursday at the Fire and Police Commission finalized our list. So the list contained 20 eligible candidates that have passed the CPAT, did the written test, and passed the interview. So number 1 on that list is been run through most of the process. He has passed his background and his polygraph and his oral interview, and so he's got a conditional offer of employment upon passing his psychological exam and medical exam. So that's good news. That candidate comes to us fully trained and a paramedic. Hopefully those last 2 tests work out. Different story with the inspector, full-time inspector. We unfortunately, we've had 1 qualified candidate who hasn't shown additional interest since we met, and then we've had a handful of people with no related experience whatsoever, not even fire service or just people out there. So I'm not opposed to teaching the right person. It is the inspector class, and fire inspector 1 through the state is 40 hours, and then it's a 1-year internship. A lot of those past dues and those deficient systems, that's administrative, that's just follow-up, that's doesn't require a high level. They could start working on that right away while getting trained. So I think if I'm able to find the right person who I think will enjoy the work and do a great job for the city, that I would invest in them and train them. So we'll be doing some interviews and reaching out to some of the past applicants as well. Attorney Droll and I are working on finalizing the amendment update to the ordinance for adopting the International Fire Code 21 version. And so we're getting closer with that. Just want to remind everybody, Labor Day. On Labor Day, as you know, for as long as I can remember, we've done Fill the Boot from 10 to 2. We have the lights flashing stop on State Street for that, and then we're collecting at Walmart and the Oasis. We've obtained all permissions to collect at those locations. Then also want to thank Olive Garden. Each year they bring out and feed all the volunteers that come and help us collect money, count the money, and we usually do a pretty good job. We're usually ranked in the top 10 in the state for fire departments based on the size of the fire department, so amount raised for the size. So citizens, thank you as well. They're very generous, and it's great to see that. Lastly, I'm going to finish with some training highlights. This month we completed our fire apparatus engineer, which is the certification to drive and pump the fire engines. All of our members are FAEs, and that helps us be very versatile, depending on staffing and who's there. So, but every 4 years they have to recertify. So we completed that training. We also did some notable practice. We did our annual 1410 drill. It's a NFPA standard. We just call it 1410. But it's basically we practice deploying pre-connects and connecting the water supply, and we see how fast we can do it. So normally our goal is once that truck, that engine hits the parking brake, that we have water flowing through the hose within a minute, within 60 seconds. And if you watch YouTube videos, that's pretty good. So, Drawl and Tangy are actually at the National Fire Academy right now. Lieutenant Drawl and Lieutenant Tangy studying command. It's a 1-week class out there in Emmitsburg, Maryland. It is the FEMA National Fire Academy. The great thing about that is the tuition, the airfare, and the room is all grant funded. So our only cost is we got to buy the meal ticket through their cafeteria. They require that. And then just our time, if we got to backfill, things like that. So it's a great opportunity. Firefighters from all 50 states train there. So it's great when you're learning at that level. And that almost completes. I just do want to thank Inspector Beck. He has been filling and doing everything he can, coming on overtime many, many days to make sure the inspections are somewhat staying done, at least especially like new construction. So there's no slowdowns on any growth. And then Lieutenant Tangy, who manages our training calendar, he has it every single day. We train 2 hours in a 4-hour window. He has that marked out and activities created with objectives and for a couple months in advance, and he's just doing a great job with that. So that completes my report, and I thank you guys for your attention, and I'll entertain any questions.
Any questions for Chief Shadle? Okay, Chief, good luck with the hiring. If we can bring an experienced officer, obviously, they hit the ground running, so appreciate all your work on that. And Police and Fire Commission. So. All right, item 3, Finance and Personnel unfinished business. We have none. Item 4, Finance and Personnel new business. Finance Department update, Finance Director Hanson. Good
Thank you,
evening.
Mayor. I have 2 quick updates to share with council. As you know, there have been 3 significant weather-related events impacting the wastewater treatment plant. While all 3 involve claims to the city's insurance carrier, repairs are almost immediately required in order to remain operational, resulting in the expenditure of funds prior to insurance reimbursements. There are also larger periodic projects that require the outlay of funds for which the city is later reimbursed. Public Works has a CD maturing at the end of this month. Rather than reinvesting, we'll be taking funds for the use in the short term. Next month's cash flow statement will reflect this revenue, and we wanted to make you aware of this temporary change and the reason for it to avoid any confusion when the cash flow report shows an influx of revenue. Once reimbursement funds have been received for all work performed, those funds will be reinvested in a new CD for the benefit of the Public Works Department. And final update is Sickich is in the final stages of its audit process for FY24. Findings will be presented to council at an October committee of the whole meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Hanson. Any questions for Finance Director Hanson? Okay. Moving on, item B, the appointment of Jerry Hoynes to fill vacancy in Ward 2. So in your packet was a memo from me dated August 21st. Before I read that, I'm going to read the attached letter that I received from Mr. Hoynes, dated August 5th, 2024. Dear Mayor Morris, I am interested in the vacant seat for Ward 2 Alderman. I believe Ward 2 is not fully represented. I ran for the alderman seat in 2023 and came up short by a handful of votes, 7 to be exact. I was born and raised in Belvedere, graduating from Belvedere High School in 1986. For 26 years, I worked in the local fastener industry. I have dedicated 30 years as a basketball referee to our youth. Additionally, I volunteered for the Belvedere YMC for 10 years. It is my desire to help improve the community for the citizens of Belvedere. I believe law and order are essential for our community, and raising taxes should be a last resort. I will do my homework, listen, and use common sense representing the best interest of Ward 2 and the residents of Belvedere. I have a genuine caring for Belvedere, and I thank you, both you and the council, for considering me for the vacant Ward 2 Alderman seat. Respectfully, Jerry Hoynes. And so with that being said, in accordance with Section 3.1-10-50 of the Illinois Municipal Code, I submit my appointment of Jerry Hoynes as my second appointment to serve as alderperson for Ward 2 to fill the vacancy created by the resignation of Alderperson Dan Snow. Attached, please find the letter that I just read stating Jerry's desire to serve as Ward 2 alderperson. And with that being said, I would entertain a motion to consent to and approve the appointment of Jerry Hoynes as alderperson for Ward 2 of the City of Belvedere to fill the vacancy created by the resignation of Dan Snow.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Motion by Alderman Stevens, thank you. And if I could have a second. Second by Alderman McGee, thank you both. Any questions? Mr. Hoynes is here this evening. If there's any questions, I'm sure he would be more than happy to answer them. If anybody has any questions of me, I will certainly do my best to answer them. Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? Motion passed, thank you. And this will come back to the council of the whole. And moving on, item C, Cottingham and Butler Consulting Agreement for Health Benefits. In your packet is a memo from me dated August 21st, 2024 regarding our health insurance agent. And I'll read this. As you know, the city has utilized the services of Tim Knopf as its insurance agent and consultant for over 20 years. Over the last several years, Tim has been affiliated with Gallagher Insurance Risk and Management and Consulting. Recently, Tim left Gallagher to pursue other opportunities. Given the fact that the city has worked with Tim and Gallagher for many years without looking at alternatives, myself and the staff elected to pursue other potential insurance consultants. It is our belief, my belief, a new consultant-agent relationship could bring a fresh set of eyes to examine the city's health insurance needs and opportunities, as well as perhaps examine city policies that may impact its cost of insurance, of providing insurance. Cottingham and Butler is a national firm that provides similar services to Gallagher. They have the capacity to not only assist in locating the most advantageous health insurance rates for the city, but can provide consulting services for policy initiatives to help manage the cost of that insurance. Like Gallagher, Cottingham and Butler fee is paid by the insurance company. The city ultimately picks for a given year. As such, there is no direct cost to the city. If the city elects to request additional services, those services would be defined by a separate written work order specifically setting forth any additional fees. Attached is a proposed agreement with Cottingham and Butler, and I would request a motion to authorize the mayor to execute the Cottingham and Butler consulting agreement. I hope you've all had a chance to look over it, and for discussion's sake, if I could get a motion. Motion by Alderman McGee, thank you, and a second by Alderwoman Graham-Kowski, thank you both. Any questions, any comments regarding the agreement? Alderwoman Freeman.
Thank you. So, Tim Knopf is an agent?
Knopf.
Sorry. Is an agent. Is Cottingham and Butler a broker, or are we going to have an agent with that firm?
They would be the same as Gallagher, what we had. They would be what we had. Tim was an agent for Gallagher. Cottingham and Butler is an agency, like
Okay.
Gallagher. Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I just,
Okay.
I have a firm, but I also have a agent that works in that firm, so we'll be getting a new agent.
Yeah, yes, we will. Mm-hmm. Yep. Any other questions, any comments? Alderman Fleury?
Thank you, Mayor. In the past, I think we've signed like agreements that go a year or two out, so does this affect it at all, or is that, are our terms up and then we'll just move right to them kind of seamlessly?
Well, within, and I'll let city attorney comment, because I know he went over this agreement on behalf of the city. But this would be a 1 year. If you look under the terms of agreement, it says this shall remain in force and effect for a term of 1 year. Part of that is because we do have a rate freeze on our existing policy that we provide. And I thought that in that case, we'll see what they do regarding any ideas that we may be able to think outside the box and hopefully improve our policy that we currently offer. And obviously, it would be offering something as good or better, and maybe with a savings to the taxpayers here for our budget. So that was the intent behind it. But after a year, we could revisit it with whoever's interested. Does that answer your question? Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, we have the motion on the floor. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And if there's any opposed, motion passed. Thank you. And that is all we have on the agenda, other than, real quick, I wanted to make a note that next, we will not have a meeting, you probably already know this, but to the public, we will not have a meeting next Monday evening. The meeting will be Tuesday, September 3rd, right here. That'll be the council meeting of the whole. All right, could I have a motion to adjourn, please? Motion by Alderman Albertini, thank you, and second by Alderwoman Graham-Kowski, thank you both. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And if anybody wants to stay, for the record, we adjourned at 6:32 PM. Thank you, everybody, for attending.